Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We are talking Wednesday, August 20th. Happy hump day, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 8 total players on Dong Watch for today, so I'm spraying the board. But if you just want to take the favorites, you can do that. I'll give you my 3 favorites as well. Granted, spraying the board has gone well. The favorites, not so much. Before we get into today, let's do a recap from yesterday, which was a good day. We'll say good day overall. We got 2 of our 6 players to mash home runs. Thank you to Michael Harris, who's just been an MVP the last 2 days. Thank you to Juan Soto. Both of them came through with home runs, giving us a profit of 0.68 units on the Dong Report yesterday. Not amazing, but we'll take another day in the green. That now makes it 3 straight profitable days on the Dong Report, bringing our profits up to about just under 5 units on the year, about 3.5 closer, actually 3.5% ROI. Pretty happy with how things are going recently. It's been really good since June 21st. If you're following my unit size guiding, you are up 11.6 units. And then if you take the entire year, you put 1 unit on every single play, you're up 82 units. But that is a little bit misleading, admittedly, because I'm putting like 0.15 units because just trying to be a little bit more responsible with the unit sizing. So yeah, if I put 1 unit on every single one of these guys, yeah, I was going to be up a lot more than we were. But on the bad days, you kind of want to be responsible. So regardless, happy with how things are going. Decent Dong slate today. There are some pretty juicy games. Like I have a couple plays here, nothing in Coors. I'm kind of starting to disavow Coors Field. I just haven't had a lot of success playing anything at Coors. A couple plays in this one, a couple plays in this one, and then I do have a play in one of the games down here that I'm okay with. A little bit actually disagreement on Weather Edge, which was interesting. They love the Twins game, which even from a weather perspective, Ballpark Pal didn't have as phenomenal. They really don't like. They love the Braves game. They really they have the Nats game as average, and they really don't like the Phillies game, which is what I was getting to. They have the Phillies game as a -20 from a weather perspective, and Ballpark Pal has it as a +4. I tend to lean towards this more so. I tend to lean closer to Ballpark Pal, which just has it as an average weather game because the temperature is nothing hot, but it's very, very humid. So the ball is that's going to make it so the ball carries a little bit more. The wind is blowing to kind of right to left, kind of out to left field. So maybe helpful wind. But regardless, because of the Phillies home stadium, which is a very hitter-friendly stadium, it's a really good weather game. So it's a good venue game for home runs, I should say. Regardless, we'll get into today. So my 3 favorites, I admit, are pretty chalky. Aaron Judge and Junior Caminero are 2 of my 3 favorites, both of them being played in the Rays versus Yankees game. I mentioned having a play in this one, and this is by far the best weather game of the day. Going to be in the high 80s, going to be low barometric pressure, relatively high humidity, not like the Phillies game, but not low humidity. And admittedly, it's the wind or the weather is better and the stadium is better for lefties. And I'm taking 2 righties. It's just kind of the way the board fell. So the thing with Aaron Judge, I'm going with him because he just had a ridiculously impressive day at the plate yesterday. He had 4 hard hits yesterday, but you look into those hard hits. 3 hardest hits of the game, 112 miles an hour, 112 miles an hour, 110. Then he had 106. That is incredibly impressive for someone like Aaron Judge, who's starting to come around. 12 barrels, 5 hard hits over the last 7 days for Aaron Judge is very, very impressive. You compare that league-wide, he's one of 12 batters with 12 or more hard hits, and he's one of 4 batters with 5 or more barrels. So really, really impressive stuff from Aaron Judge coming off of a very, very impressive day. Now the pitcher he's going up against Drew Rasmussen is a decent pitcher, so this is less targeting a juicy pitching matchup, more so just targeting a hot batter. And the odds on him are not bad. It was 260 at FanDuel. Let me refresh this because it was 260 when I bet him. So we'll see if that's still available. If not, I would still take, so 260 at FanDuel for Judge is not that bad. It is positive EV according to Ballpark Pal. And then I also took Junior Caminero at +320. Admittedly, not EV according to Ballpark Pal, so 1 yes, 1 no. But he also had a decent day yesterday. Caminero had 3 hard hits in what was a lost game for the Rays. You look at him over the last week, he's not going to impress you the same way as Judge. He's got 8 hard hits and 1 barrel. That is, I mean, you hope for better, obviously a better barrel rate. The 8 hard hits is acceptable. Not amazing, but acceptable. But he's hitting the ball in the air and he's pulling the ball. So those are 2 pretty good factors. His EV is really, really impressive. His launch angle is good. So all his other metrics are not terrible, which is why I'm comfortable going with him. And this is, yes, a situation where we are targeting a very juicy pitching matchup. Cam Shittler, aka the Shittler, is pitching for the Yankees. Home run under every 20 at-bats on the year, which is not good. Against righties, it's significantly worse. When you see these numbers against the board, across the board against righties, is really, really bad. 13% barrel rate, 41.5% hard hit rate. The line drive rate is high. The fly ball rate's low, but that's fine. It's the high line drive rate. All these numbers are terrible against righties. And the numbers against the righties are much, much worse than they are against lefties, which is funny because he's a right-handed pitcher, so he's kind of got the reversed splits. Like every single number, except for hard hit rate, which is neutral, is worse against righties. And we all know the type of run that Caminero can go on. He's hit 2 home runs in the last week, and that was while playing in the Giants' home stadium. So I like going with Junior and Judge. Just fantastic. You want to catch him when he's on a roll. Those are my first 2 plays, also 2 of my favorites. And then the third of the 3 favorites is a guy that we haven't gone with in a long time, but it is my friend, Mr. Kurtz, and he is best offered at 285 odds at FanDuel. That's the best offered price on him. You know, he went through a lull where he couldn't hit the baseball after he hit 4 home runs in a game. That's going to happen. Recently, he's been pretty good. He's got 9 hard hits and a barrel over the last week. Those hard hit numbers are good. Obviously, you want that barrel rate to be a little bit higher. But he is coming off of an impressive day yesterday. You look into that athletics game yesterday, and you see that he had 3 hard hits, 2 doubles. So pretty good day for Kurtz, and really, really good pitching matchup. We have Bailey Ober on the mound, who I like to call Bailey Over because he's not a good pitcher. On the year, home run every 18 at-bats, every 15 when facing left-handed hitters. You look at the last 6 weeks for him, not good. Home run every 12 at-bats with pretty bad numbers across the board. Super low strikeout rate, pretty high fly ball rate, pretty high barrel rate. Now, the hard hit rate is low, so I'll give him that, but everything else is really, really bad. And Kurtz, after having, maybe it was about a month, a little bit less than a month, where he wasn't hitting the ball well, he's starting to now 2 home runs over the last week for him again. Decent numbers, not incredible, but decent numbers, and I really like the matchup. Weather, if you remember, Weather Edge really liked this one. Ballpark Pal had it from a weather perspective as slightly negative at Target Field. And Target Field is not a great stadium. So from a venue perspective, it's not great, but from every other perspective, it is. Ballpark Pal loves the matchup for Mr. Kurtz, so that's who we're going with for our third play, and that's also the third of the 3 favorites. So I mentioned the favorites were pretty chalky. That's just kind of how things worked out. Next up, I have 2 plays in the Mets game. 2 guys went with yesterday, Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor, taking both of them to hit home runs. Ballpark Pal really likes this game. Lindor you can get at plus 500 odds, which is kind of crazy considering it's Francisco Lindor. And then Soto you can get at plus 375, which is still a pretty decent price and slightly positive EV according to Ballpark Pal. Now, the pitcher that they're going up against, Brad Lord, is not a bad pitcher at all. He is a lot worse against lefties, though. Against righties, hasn't given up a home run in the last 6 weeks. Against lefties, home run every 23 at-bats. Now, his numbers across the board are some good, some bad. Like the barrel rate is kind of high. The hard hit rate is kind of high, but the fly ball and line drive rate are low. I will give him that. Lower line drive and fly ball rate than you would expect. But 2 hitters on the Mets that are hitting very well that had good days yesterday. Like, obviously, we had the home run. Where is that game? We had the home run hit by Juan Soto yesterday, but it wasn't just that. He had 2 hard hits total, as did Francisco Lindor. And you look into those. The Soto especially is impressive, 107 off the bat, 31-degree launch angle. Then he also had another 376-foot flyout. So he almost hit 2 home runs yesterday. Lindor, the 2 hard hits weren't as impressive. He had 102 off the bat, but negative launch angle isn't anything that impressive. And then his other one was a double that was hit pretty hard with a good launch angle. Just needed to be hit a little bit harder for it to be a true home run threat. But Lindor has been on a really good run recently, which is why I'm not just going off of yesterday. 13 hard hits, 4 barrels over the last week is very, very good. And then Soto, also 4 barrels over the last week, is also very good, coming off of 2 yesterday for Soto alone. So I like going with them a lot. Decent weather. Ballpark Pal has this one as a pretty positive plus 16. Weather Edge had it as a neutral game from a weather perspective, so a little bit of a disagreement there. But I like both of these guys on the Mets, both lefties, Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. And then my last 3 plays are all in the same game. It's Julio Rodriguez, Randy Arozarena, and Eugenio Suarez. I will admit the reason I'm going with these players is because the odds on them are really good. Suarez was actually 390 at Bet365, and Arozarena was 450. So these numbers are a little bit worse than what you see here. Granted, Arozarena you can get at 475 at ESPN Bet, so you can still get that number, just not on 365. And then J-Rod was plus 500, still the same price there. I will admit I was close to going with Raleigh as well, who Ballpark Pal also likes. Raleigh, it's not that he's been cold at all recently, but I didn't want to take 4 players, and then I ended up just going with the players with the juicier odds. So that's kind of how I decided. If you want to go with Cal, I don't blame you at all. I just didn't want to take 4 players in this game, and I just took the 3 guys with the better odds. And if one of those 3 hits, then we came out of this relatively in the green, which is what was my deciding factor there. You look at the Mariners, J-Rod's been phenomenal, 14 hard hits over the last week. That actually leads the MLB, those 14 hard hits. I mean, I guess I should say it tied him with the league lead. Also, 3 barrels is acceptable. The other players are kind of hitting well, depending on how you look at it. Like Suarez, 8 hard hits and 2 barrels over the last week is acceptable. And then Randy also has 8 hard hits over the last week. What I like about all 3 of these players is that they all smash left-handed pitching. Obviously, so does Raleigh, so there's another tip in favor of him. But Suarez, 316 ISO against lefties. J-Rod, 269 ISO against lefties. Arozarena, 230. Arozarena is a little bit low for someone you want to say smashes lefties, but you look at recently, J-Rod has been phenomenal against left-handed pitching. 433 ISO is really, really good. And then Randy, 270, so a little bit better. And Randy, if you look at him from like June 1st until now, he's really been hitting lefties hard. So him, it's not just the last 30 days. And then you look at barrel rate for these guys, and it's pretty impressive. J-Rod, 20% barrel rate over the last 30 days, 14% for Randy, 16% for Suarez. So even though Suarez hasn't done a great job hitting for power, his barrel rate is still really, really good. That's kind of how I settled on those 3. The pitcher they're going up against, Jesus Luzardo, is incredibly hit or miss. You look at him over the last 6 weeks, home run every 18 at-bats, under that 20 number, exactly what you're looking for. The thing with Luzardo is he goes through stretches of pitching gems versus getting shelled. His last couple starts have been pretty good. I'll give him that. But 2 home runs allowed, both to righties against Baltimore, a couple starts before that. Home run allowed to a righty against Boston, and then 2 home runs allowed to a righty against the Angels. So he's really hit or miss. But again, you take a step back, you look at all his stats. Generally, again, home run under every 20 at-bats is good. And then you look at the game that they played yesterday for the Mariners. Really only Arozarena had a good day with 2 hard hits, and Suarez had a good day with 2 hard hits. Cal did have the 1. Nothing for Julio, but I'm okay with that because the run that Julio has been on is very impressive. So I'm not going to be off of him just because of 1 game, which he didn't have any hard hits. He just had 2 the day before that. You look into those Suarez, 109 miles an hour off the bat, 107. He hit with a ball 415 feet, home run in 22 out of 30 stadiums. Brutal if you had him to hit a home run. Very, very annoying if you did. And then you look at Randy, another 2 hard hits, both above 100, with pretty decent launch angles. Like 22 and 18 is not bad. You get that up a little bit more, and those are 2 barrels on the day. And then again, Julio has been really hitting lefties hard, and just because he didn't have a good day yesterday, I'm okay with that. But that's all we got. So it's going to be 8 total players on Dong Watch for today. The 3 guys in the Mariners game that we just talked about, Randy Arozarena, Eugenio Suarez, and Julio Rodriguez. The 2 guys in the Yankees game who are also 2 of my favorites, in Aaron Judge and Junior Caminero. The 2 players in the Mets, in Mr. Juan Soto, a.k.a. Han Solo, and Lindor, and then Kurtz as my last one, also my 3rd of the 3 favorites. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, check out Ballpark Pal. Put a link to them in the description of the video. I also put a link to my Tails account, which is just where I send all these plays out. So everything you see sent out first gets sent out to my Tails account. So pretty good numbers, like lifetime dong report numbers, plus 84 units. That's pretty good. But yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.